Is this thing on? Hello. Hey, it's Ryan. Welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 622. My name is Ryan Higgins for the week of Monday, October 7th, 2024. Wow, feels like 6 weeks since our last podcast. That seems crazy. That possibly can't be true. Hi, who else is here? What's happening?
Brock Sager. It's starting to feel like saga hiatuses at this point.
Oh.
Kevin.
And not here? Toby.
Lane's here. Toby is on his way. He's coming. We're saving some stuff for him.
Are we taking bets on if he falls asleep watching the thing he said he's watching?
Yeah, he may fall asleep. He may never show up because he's going to he's going to go see some random movie that I've never heard about, that he never heard about till the other day, and he's coming here to be on the podcast. And so there's a chance he falls asleep in the theater, and they don't find him until 2:00 in the morning when he wanders out of the theater and the security guard sees him. So we'll see if that happens. But Toby's on his way. Hi. A bad microphone, Brock for his once a decade extreme cold, and some scheduling conflicts. We've not recorded for a while. We've had some time off in this podcast. Brock is feeling better.
Yes. Well, what's funny about my sickness was I got some stomach thing, and then literally 2 weeks later was my every 5 years here die.
Yeah. Yeah, you do not get you are that person that does not get a cold. So when you get a cold, you get
stay the fuck away from me.
A real cold. Yeah. I have somehow avoided colds this maybe because it's 100 fucking degrees here every goddamn day. Bay Area going through that heat wave that LA was going.
I'm gonna have to start a GoFundMe to fix the AC in my truck. Fuck.
Holy smokes, it's hot. But I think we're at the tail end of it. We got some news stories to talk about. We're going to talk. The back half of this podcast is going to be all Batman media, because there's been not one, not two, not three, but 4 different things involving Batman. Some way or other, have either come out or finished in the last few weeks. So I have a little bit to say about Batman Keep Crusader and Kite Man and the Penguin TV show on HBO and Joker that was just in the movie theaters. So we'll get to some of that. We are waiting for Toby because I know he really wants to talk Joker and Penguin. He's got quite a few things to say about those. But we have some news to talk about before then. And now Brock and Lane, you guys remember this. We did discuss this. So we did record an episode, and my audio shit the bed. I was unintelligible through the entire episode. I did test. Everything seems okay. Everything is good, but I don't know what happened. I thought, maybe like my mic picked up like off the webcam or something, but it was like I could not salvage it. So we recorded like 5 weeks ago. We recorded our normal episode. It was me, Brock, and Lane, and I just couldn't use it. And then Brock got sick, and then I was gone for concert, and blah, 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 blah. So here we are. Hey, so we can rehash a little bit of what we said on that, but it's definitely worth noting. And I hate to always start on fucking the downer on this podcast, but that's what this podcast has become. We're
changing our name to the Debbie Downer podcast.
Well, this was a few weeks. This was, at this point, a month ago. So a lot has been said, but it is worth noting. That artist John Cassaday, yes. who we all know, I think from X-Men and Planetary and Astonishing X-Men and Planetary and a few other big books, did pass away at the age of 52. I believe it was a heart attack. Is that like heart disease or something? Right? I looked up. I didn't go back and look at it and see if anything else had come up since his passing, but. It's one thing when some of these Golden Age and now Silver Age creators, or fucking some of these Bronze Age guys that are in their 70s, 80s, 90s. From Mud for Aiden passed away. She was like, 98, right? It's a little like, it sucks, but you kind of expect this is coming. 52 is way too young, especially for like John Cassaday.
Well, especially if you're like us and like. That's like right next door. Or a few of us. That's right near us.
That's not too far off. Really sad. He hadn't done a lot of comic, published Western comic art in the last decade or so. I know he did some stuff for Humanoids, and he did some cover art stuff for Marvel that didn't quite hit the mark. For myself, for a lot of people, not sure what that's all about, but it's not what we're here to talk about. But it's super sad. Especially Planetary. I think for a lot of us, it's a big book. When Astonishing X-Men, Joss Whedon was a huge seller from Marvel when that came out, and he had done plenty of comics before, but since not as much. He did some stuff for Humanoids. He did I Am Legion. He did that graphic novel, but like no consistent work. And I'm not sure. I follow people when they're in the comic industry, when they're off doing other stuff. I'm not sure what he was doing in the meantime. I kind of poked around. I didn't really.
You did Lone Ranger.
Yeah, but that was only like a couple issues, right? Like that wasn't like some.
Yeah,
big
I think he did a miniseries, and then he did covers for like another series and two.
Yeah. He did some cover art, but yeah, I'm not sure what his like kind of consistent day-to-day work had been the last decade, because he definitely hadn't done too much. But he was coming back and doing some covers for Marvel. Very sad. Obviously, kind of old news at this point, but still.
We did talk about it.
We did. Yeah. We've lost so many big creators.
Do you remember that year when we saw Cassaday at that DC party?
Yeah, I will never forget that.
Well, my memory of that I mean, that was funny, but my memory of him at that show was the last day, the Sunday. It was like, I want to say maybe 4:00 in the afternoon on the last day of the con. And I just needed to get the F out of that show for a minute. And I was sitting at that Hilton bar where the Eisners are. And now that thing, on the Eisners, you can't even move. But on a Sunday afternoon on the last day, it's a ghost town in there. And I'm sitting by myself, enjoying the view, having a drink. And who walks in but John Cassaday, sits down. And that's how we close out the show. Just the two of us, literally the two of us and a bartender. And then I had to go meet Toby to catch a flight to go home. I said to him, I'll see you next year. And I never saw him again. That was 2018.
Yep. Yeah, that sucks. Real unfortunate. Seemed like a super nice guy from the limited contact I've had with him. Obviously a fan favorite for years. So, sad. Let your favorite comic creators know how much you like their work, because you never know when something's going to happen, and they're no longer with us. We have all sorts of goofy news, stuff that's more fun, stuff that's more random. Sorry to start off on such a downer after being gone for so long.
Only the up from here.
Well, maybe just some other bad news, not quite on the same level of bad news, but Bleeding Cool. We like to talk about Bleeding Cool occasionally.
I remember a point in time when you said, I'm never, ever going to say anything about Bleeding Cool again.
No, they're terrible. They're terrible. Occasionally, they have a story that is worth talking about. I, for the most part, ignore them. There are occasionally points where things get dropped that they cover that no one else is covering. Now, both of these, whether true or not, we don't know. We'll find out soon. But these are two interesting tidbits coming from Bleeding Cool. Both of these happened today, so perfect timing for our podcast. If you're a fan of the DC and Marvel omnibuses that are coming out, there's been some delays. The DC Marvel crossover one's coming, but the amalgam one's been pushed back to like December. We are now hearing from Bleeding Cool that is now indefinitely delayed due to a massive printing error by the printer, and they are going to be having to rerun the entire print run. And we book with obviously I don't think the amalgam book had maybe quite the same number of pre-orders as the Marvel DC crossover, but it had a significant amount of orders. These take a long time to schedule and put on the schedule a printer for. So plus shipping and yada yada yada. So it is according to Bleeding Cool, well, we'll see. We'll see if DC has any official updates. As of this recording, I have not received anything in my weekly DC emails that I get that have delayed this past December. But if there's further delays, we may hear about it officially from DC this week.
Is the error that they printed those issues that we aren't supposed to talk about?
There is no direct quote from anyone about what the error is. It is just more significant. Like, there have been plenty of books where there's a missing page, and they're like, "Sorry, that just happened with a Marvel, one of the Spider-Man omnibuses that came out. It was missing a page." Marvel's response: "Sorry, here's a PDF of the page."
Wait, Rock, are you talking about GJ?
Yeah.
No, the article said that his stories are not in that omnibus.
Yeah.
So I do not believe that's true.
Yeah.
I am. I have no direct insider knowledge from DC. However, from reading between the lines of other things that DC has printed, and from conversations I've had with people, my guess is the Gerard Jones written comics, which he has written quite a few comics for both Marvel and DC and plenty of other publishers. He was arrested for child pornography charges, and obviously, will no longer be working in the comic industry, and hasn't for years. I mean, decades at this point. Years at this point.
Yeah.
No, decades. It's got to be decades. When was the last time he even worked in the comic industry? I don't know. But it is, his work has been reprinted regularly from other publishers, I am. I'll say 51% sure. I'll give it 51% sure and 49% unsure, but 51% sure that his issues will be in there. He will just not be, he will be credited as normal. Just it will not be mentioned in the solicitations, not mentioned in the back of the book. His name will not be promoted, blah, 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 but his work will be in there. That said, whatever the
major error.
Yeah. Whatever the major error is, was big enough for them to pull the entire print run of the Amalgam Omnibus. So
wow, this is considering some of the errors that have made it to shelves. I'm trying to imagine what it would take for them to, pulp 20,000 books.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be something significant. Again, I think even if it's like 2 pages that are reversed or whatever, they're going to be like, oh, whatever. The whole thing's like printed backwards, every alternating page is on the wrong side or something. Right, yeah. I mean, it would have to be something like that, right? Where like every splash page is printed on the wrong side, right? It's all shifted 1 page off.
It would have to be. It would have to be that,
funky,
not content, right? Because once it leaves the nest, it wouldn't be a content issue. It would have to be something at the printer.
Yeah. I mean, there are points where if Marvel or DC or Image or whatever fuck up the file, that's on them. If the printer fucks up the printing, that's on the printer. And from Bleeding Cool, it sounds like this is a printing error. So whatever it is, do not expect that Amalgam Omni coming anytime soon. It'll be likely years next year. But we should get the Marvel vs. DC one fairly soon. It
was supposed to be August.
Yeah. Everything got moved back a bit. There was another article that they posted today about
moving on to the next thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you got something to say about,
not really.
Say about the Amalgam Omnibus.
I mean, it's a Jim Lee art. I'm like, it's supposed to be here 2 months ago. Oh well.
Well, what the Omni?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's an omnibus. Like whatever, it comes when it comes. Like if it's delayed, it's delayed. Like it's no big deal.
I just hope it comes decently because Penguin's shipping it. Or wait, no, Lunar shipping it.
No, it'll be lunar.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, no, it'd be great.
Saved.
No, it'll come perfect. Yeah, no, it'd be great. No, it'll come perfect. Yeah, if it came from Pengiun, it would come in 48 boxes. Okay,
and there's only
one
7
per
books
box.
you ordered.
One per box. Okay. The other is also DC related. The other is also Jim Lee related, and that is again rumor from DC. Now, this seems a little bit like. I mean, sure, possibly for an arc, but this seems. Bleeding Cool loves to just fucking make a mountain out of a molehill here, and
gotta get them clicks, baby.
Right, of course, as always. The rumor is that the Jim Lee and Jeph Loeb will be returning to do a story in Batman, in the ongoing Batman comic. Now, I think it is possible that they're going to do a short arc in between. As far as I know, Zdarsky is still the ongoing writer. I don't. He just started an arc coming out of DC All In. I don't
Absolute
think
Power.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Zdarsky was gonna leave Batman, it would have been now at the break. That's the whole point of the break. Okay, so Leanne is assigning to empty the entire ice cabinet.
I went into the other room, so you didn't hear it.
You're here with all your ice, and
You guys in there and poured it.
This is great radio. I love the beeps. Keep it up, Leanne.
I don't know how much that comes over.
I hear it fucking clear.
Okay, all of it. Okay, perfect. Okay, just making sure. I was trying to look for a break where I could mute myself, but no one else was talking, so I just kept going.
Jim Lee, Jeph Loeb.
Yeah. If they were going to do an arc, it would have made sense to have them come and do it with the start, post All In. If they're going to reboot it, why are you going to reboot it like 6 months later after All In? Sure, maybe they'll do an arc. That's cool. But I don't. Okay, Jim Lee's never doing an ongoing book ever again. He hasn't done an ongoing book in 30 years.
No, he did a couple issues.
He did like
Immortal. What was Immortal Men?
He did like half the art. He did like half the front of.
He only did
story
2.5
Suicide Squad, and exactly. Like he just doesn't. Yeah, no. So sure, a Hush follow up or total or something else completely by Jeph Loeb, Jim Lee. Cool in the main Batman book. Awesome. Ongoing. No, come on, don't be stupid.
So now the quick question is: are we going to read it, or are we just going to look at the art and then put it in our collections?
I'm telling you, man, it's the Marvel curse. Jeph Loeb goes to Marvel, horrible. Comes back to DC, really good. The Long Halloween special and the first issue were great.
Oh, okay.
Like it's something about like his work at Marvel. He did some okay stuff.
His early stuff
was
good.
His early stuff, but wretched as it went on.
And then he went away to media.
Yeah, no, I was kind of all over the place. So some good, some less than good. I'm excited for sure. Yeah, Jim Lee and Jeph Loeb doing a Batman thing. Cool. Is it going to be the ongoing book? All right, maybe that'd be neat.
Why wouldn't they make it a Black Label?
You fucker, you little bastard.
What?
Because there's articles out that say Black Label's dead.
Is there?
Yes.
I haven't seen anything. I mean, I don't. Black Label. So the oversized format, I don't think there's anything on the schedule. The Batman, what was it, First Night, right? That was the Dan Jurgens.
The Dan Jurgens ones was really good. Like, that is a solid book.
That and the Batman Madness, I think those are the last two of the
there's Gargoyle.
You forgot.
No, Gargoyle Gotham Standard.
That's standard size. I forgot.
You forgot the Last Days of Lex Luthor.
Well, the last days of not happening.
Delayed as fuck.
I just don't think that. I mean,
you think they're just one and done? We're just never going to do it.
I mean, Hitch has done like 8 issues of Redcoat.
No, but I mean,
why the hell?
Do you think DC is just going to be like, as a one shot? We're done.
I just don't know why. What I don't know what they would do. Like, he's not going to come back and do it. So, I mean, I guess I could give it to someone else and have someone else do the art, like Kevin Nolan or someone. Like, he's still doing a ton of work. And
is the werewolf book New Moon going to be? Is it New Moon? Right? No, that's not oversized.
Yeah. I don't think there's a, but that's all Black Label, right? So, I mean, yeah, is the oversized format done? Possibly. That's a little unfortunate because I did like those. And other companies do them now, right? Distillery does them.
Distillery is in that size.
Someone else is doing a couple oversized ones too.
Well, Image has done like Last Mermaid, but it's not the same size.
No, Last Mermaid's a different format. I mean, Forged is magazine size.
Forged is magazine
Love and
size.
Rockets obviously still magazine. So yeah, there's plenty of other comic companies doing magazine stuff. I'd be disappointed if that's gone. Like I do like the format, but who knows?
I think it really hits with the right artist. Because, no offense, that's
some of them are not.
Superman Lobo books.
No, some of them are terrible. Yeah, a couple of them are terrible. Yeah, and like that. I don't need Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. Superman Black.
Hey, maybe that's what we're gonna get. Jim Lee and Jeph Loeb, but it's Black Label and magazine size.
Sure, that'd be fucking great. I mean, yeah, give Jim more room on that. That'd be cool. I'd be totally okay with that. Yeah. What else we got?
I don't know what's the list is in front of you.
Oh, but you said Black Label. I haven't seen anything, but I'll keep it out. There's been no official word on Black Label being dead. We have I'm actually this is sneakily one of the biggest things Marvel has done. Again. Sneakily, one of the biggest things Marvel has done. How they haven't done this yet is pretty baffling.
So they've done it, or they haven't done it?
No, they haven't done it. They're doing it now. Arguably, one of the most popular things that Marvel's ever been involved with pre the MCU was the Marvel vs. Capcom video games. Huge hits. An entire generation of kids, that's their entrance to the Marvel universe is the Marvel vs. Capcom game. And there's great art in those games, great art from the Capcom artists. Some of the concept arts are being finally brought over to the comic industry to be used as variant covers. So it's some of the concept art for the that they're using along with the Capcom Fighting Collection.
Are they open order?
Soon. They are open order variant covers, all from Bengus, who did a lot of the his artist did a lot of the concept for Marvel vs. Capcom. These are like the original illustrations from the game. Huge hit of a game. This will be one of like to me when I think of like, okay, Marvel and DC have done stuff with Fortnite, and I'm like, sure, there's like some people buy the book to get the skins and crap like that, but a lot of the kids playing Fortnite, they don't really care about they're not going to care about the comics, right? It's too young of a crowd. And
they care about that first one, and then by the sixth one, they don't give a shit.
Well, they did a bunch of the variant covers. Like, the characters in Fortnite are a bunch of fucking nothings. Marvel vs. Capcom, besides, it doesn't obviously have the reach of something like Fortnite, but these are some like kind of prime comic versions of the characters, and the art is sort of the peak version of all those characters. So a lot of very Jim Lee inspired X-Men characters and McFarlane inspired Spider-Man, and those versions translated to the video game so good, and that it's a slightly older audience as well that I think is going to be way more into this than those Fortnite variant covers that Marvel has done. These are going to be legitimate big cool things, and they start getting ordered pretty soon. So if you're a fan of Marvel vs. Capcom, there's I think 11 covers. Are we
going to sell bundles?
Not bundles, but I will order a shitload. Yeah, it's Captain America, Cyclops, Doctor Doom, Iron Man, Psylocke, Rogue, Spider-Man, Storm, Thanos, Venom, and Wolverine. If you've ever played the game, you'll recognize this art immediately, and this was all like the concept art, and it's been used everywhere for the Capcom.
I'm just surprised Marvel hasn't just licensed it out to Fortnite for skins.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, it's that right. I mean, this is aimed. This isn't like a MCU translated version of these characters. The versions in the games were like extremely comic accurate, especially for what was going on in the last 5-10 years prior to the game. So these are, like I said, very much that early '90s Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane inspired versions of Spider-Man and X-Men characters. Lane and now Toby. Toby's joined us. Toby.
Hey,
I'm sure you guys both big Marvel vs. Capcom fans. If nothing else for the character designs and the sprites and animation.
Sure.
Yes.
But the problem is these are just based on the original art or the concept art, which has been in books for decades.
Sure.
So
but these are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like when they just reuse old art for a variant cover. It's like, when they did all the, we're just going to make Jim Lee's trading cards a variant cover. We're going to use all the...
Sold a fucking shitload of those.
I know, and I hated them.
I'm looking at them right now. They're kind of bland.
Because they just reprints. Plus, they also, the Jim Lee one also, I have an issue because they recolored it and didn't give credit to the original colorist. But then the same thing happened with the Hildebrand covers.
Yeah, they're very popular. I mean, it's cool art, and they're using it on their books. To me, is a win-win.
It's a little bit like weird because it's like I feel like it diminishes the cards a little bit where they originally came on, and then.
No, not at all. And it makes that stuff way more popular. I mean, with this, right? I mean, if these are character designs that were stuck into an inside of an art book. Now it's on the front of a comic. To me, it's like such a better venue for that.
But I don't know. I don't know. I found it a little weird because it's also kind of like a weird kind of like it's just one image. The cover has the image has nothing to do with the comic. Like it's not anything to do with Marvel vs. Capcom inside the comic. It's just a regular issue.
Of course not. Of course
not. And then, I don't know, it's a little bit of a weird kind of like, not really a spit in the face, but it's like, what about all the people who actually went out and bought the art book all these years?
Well,
just to
you still
get
have the art book.
Yeah, but
you still have the art book. Why else would you buy an art book? To get the art. So you have the art, and you can buy it again or not. You already have it, so you don't have to buy it. But for everyone that hasn't bought it, everyone that doesn't have that stuff, I think this is.
I feel like
I want them to do more of this, not less of this.
I want less of it. I hate that shit because it's just it's reprinting old crap that's already available that people can get their hands on.
Very surprising. Very surprising.
I mean, I just looked at all 11 covers and they're like, meh.
You're not. This is not for you. You're not. I mean, you're a gamer, but not this. This is. I think this is a really big fucking deal.
And Brock, there's one person on here who can say meh as a review of something, and it's not you, okay?
Sorry.
That's trademarked.
Sorry.
That's trademarked.
Sorry.
Toby, you picking up all your Marvel Capcom variant covers?
No, because I don't have a box anymore.
You have a box? There's nothing in it. Nothing in it. You start subscribing to stuff? Customer.comichub.com or the Comic Hub customer app on Apple.
I can't trust it anymore, man. So forget it.
Just go in end of the month, pay for all your stuff on your side, come pick up your comics. Super easy. Comic Hub makes everything so easy to order and pay for. It's so great.
I only see the Storm one right now.
I think the Rogue one should be up.
Oh, they're all up. I looked.
Are they all up now? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is like peak '90s X-Men designs. I think a great Venom, great Spider-Man. Yeah, no, I think these are
all right.
Jesus fucking Christ. Gone for 6 weeks. Podcast comes back to a bunch of I'm gonna guess. Sure.
Wait,
More
Toby.
about the collection of the game collection.
Yeah. That's coming soon.
Toby, Toby? You can't trust the hub. Is that what you're saying? Why you wouldn't order these?
I can't trust other things. Let's put it that way.
You can't trust his credit card. His credit card bill.
Sure.
have stuff on. He can. It's like the reverse Seinfeld. He can hold. He can make the reservation. He just can't buy or pick up the reservation. Mm-hmm. Right? He can make the reservation for the comics. He just doesn't buy the comics. Well, we got more. Do you guys want to have DC versus Sonic the Hedgehog? How about that, huh? If Marvel Capcom isn't your thing,
how's that?
Toby,
how's that,
seemed like you would have.
How's those? What is it? Those DC multiverse game going? How's that comic going?
Yeah, no, not at all. But here's the thing, Brock. Again, you're a gamer, but you're not this type of gamer. Okay, Sonic people are fucking crazy. Okay. Sonic people are out of their goddamn minds. All right. So this, again, a very good thing. Justice League and Sonic crossover. There's an audience for this because Sonic people are lunatics. Okay. And this is exactly the type of thing that they'll buy.
Very small market.
No, it's not. That's the problem. It's a very large market of very crazy people.
How many Sonic
real sickos?
How many actual Sonic the Hedgehog comics do you sell?
More than any other kid's book.
Well, yeah.
Trust me, Sonic people are
they're on crack.
They're unique individuals, and this feels like a thing that they will be very into. Okay. I love all you Sonic people.
So is it
very disturbing?
So
okay,
let me get this straight. It's Sonic versus DC, but not Sonic versus like Flash.
It's not Sonic versus. They become the Justice League. So.
Oh, for fuck's sake! It's the goddamn Disney covers.
Sonic become all the Sonic people become.
If they do Gambit, I don't see Gambit yet. If they do Gambit, the Rogue is kind of nice. If they have a nice Gambit to go with it, I'll probably pick those two up, and that'd be it.
I'm sure there'll be a second batch. This is not all the characters.
Wait, are these just variants, or is this an actual comic?
What the Sonic?
Variants.
No, the Sonic Justice League is an actual comic.
That's a comic.
Yes. Yeah, that's a real comic. Yep, that's coming soon.
Yeah, you can welcome Jim Carrey to the DC universe.
Jim Carrey. Oh, Dr. Robotnik. Does Dr. Robotnik and Lex Luthor like merge or something like that? That feels right. I'm both bald. Yeah.
Well, no,
or Brainiac.
He should be the Riddler.
Well, sure, but... No, I guess it would be Robotnik and Brainiac. That makes the most sense.
Why does this just feel like the recycled Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shit?
Sorry, Eggman. If you're an OG.
Next, we're gonna have somebody merging with Mega Man.
That'd be cool.
Well, we already have awesome. Turtles Naruto coming.
I know that's coming pretty soon.
That's gonna be a bigger deal than the Sonic one.
That should be a big hit. Yeah, that should be a big hit. Yeah.
November.
Yeah. Early next month. Yep.
I'm waiting for that one. That should be cool.
Yeah, I wonder how. Yeah, that's one I'm really wondering how that's going to translate in Japan. I think it'll do well here, but I wonder going back what the audience for that is. I don't know how big the turtles are in Japan.
I think it's going to be mainly an American book that's going to sell big.
Yeah. Well, I got one more thing before we talk a little Bat Media. Because it's been one of those crazy.
It's always Bat Media. Situations where never not Bat Media.
It's been a lot. There's been a lot. Another company has been formed. Another comic company has been formed. However, this time is once again being formed in conjunction with Image Comics. There is a new imprint. Focusing on horror comics coming out called The Ninth Circle with Garth Ennis, Marjorie Bennett, Joe Pruitt, Ram V, Adam Glass, and some other people that are more on the corporate end. This seems to...
It's different than the other horror. The horror didn't Stephen King's son have a horror imprint too?
He did a DC, Hill House. We've had a lot... Yeah. We've had a lot of these, more of these recently. You know, Ghost Machine, obviously by Jeff Johns, is a company that exists, but it is being published in an imprint ad Image. Ninth Circle seems to be kind of a similar thing. Distillery is its own thing, but it's we're getting a lot of these little mini companies getting published through other companies, and kind of all going in at once. A lot of it seems like I think the long-term goal is not the comic books. I think the long-term goal is media and licensing and blah, blah, blah for a lot of these. But you're going to start somewhere. They from the pages, it looks like I don't know if it says this. I kind of had read through all the maybe I missed it. The artwork looks like magazine size, so I don't know if the intent is for these to be magazine size like Distillery and Black Label, but could just be the way the art's cut. But there's going to be another company trying to do what has not worked out very well for anyone else recently, from Aftershock to IDW to Boom got bought by Penguin, so we talked about that, right? That was pre-break. So good luck to everyone involved. We'll see what happens. Always excited for more comics. Always excited for more people trying new stuff. The history of comics being an IP farm has rarely worked. I don't know what the...
Remember when they were like Substack was supposed to be publishing shit?
I remember Substack. That was a while ago, huh? Boy, did those creators make a fuckload of money and then abandon Substack immediately. Oh, it's so good. They knew what was going on. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, it's published from Image. We'll get some good comics out of it. Everything else, who cares? All right, whatever. These guys are all going to do other work too.
Has
done a million things.
As a business question, when something like that comes along with no established characters, how do you order that?
At this point, the same way I order everything else, pre-orders plus a handful extra. Like, it is, I'm not going to lie, dude. It's fucking, it's not bad. It's just, there's still excitement for the Ultimate stuff from Marvel. Those are still selling very well.
Spider-Man.
No, X-Men and Ultimates. But Black Panther doesn't sell shit. But Ultimates and
it's Spider-Man and X-Men, Ultimates, and then Black Panther. That's the
so Ultimate Spider-Man sells, let's call it 100%. X-Men and Ultimates are basically 50 and 50. So those two books add up to what we sell of Ultimate Spider-Man almost exactly. Ultimate Black Panther is significantly lower. I mean, it still sells okay, but it's obviously a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
There is good excitement for the Absolute books from DC. Less so any of the all-in new story arcs, new creators. Nothing really moved the needle this week. We're only one weekend, of course. But
I read the Absolute Batman.
Yeah,
it's fine.
We'll talk about Absolute Batman in a week or two once we get that. Or
what I was meaning was with this new label, and the creators, but there's no track record of. Now I know something like Ghost Machine because of Jeph Johns. You were going to crank that, but something like this, do you just pick a number out of it? Like, let's say 10 people pre-order it. You order 5 shelf copies.
It's almost like the more people pre-order, the higher my number goes. It's almost like exponential, right? Most indie, small press, new company, hell, even Image, number ones, it doesn't matter. Unknown to mid-tier creator, our pre-order numbers for any new book is
like 1 or 2.
Very low.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Very low. The fact that something like Transformers,
the Energon Universe stuff,
is Transformers specifically. Void Rival still does okay, but Transformers, G.I. Joe numbers are fine, but Transformers still does really well. The Ghost Machine books, those had pretty significant pre-orders. Absolute Batman, actually all 3 of the Absolute books, Ultimate Spider-Man, those had pretty significant pre-orders. So when you start, when those numbers are higher, that makes my overall, okay, people know this book exists and order more. The 58th #1 horror comic by just kind of nobodies or random people without any sort of push or bigger buzz, and I'll get a handful of pre-orders, and if it's returnable, I'll order a few extra. I mean, look, I like Garth Ennis a lot. I haven't read anything of his that I've been interested or cared about in like 20 years. It's just, I've tried a couple things and I'm like, these are okay. It's just kind of nothing I'm into. I'm not a horror guy, really, so a lot of the horror stuff sort of bounces right off me, and the whole idea here is horror. I like Ron V a lot, but I'm just... What's that?
A random horror title by nobody, but it has a Campbell cover?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to read it, but yeah, sure. If I get 20 pre-orders for it, then yeah, I'll order it up. But even stuff like that, right? Like even the Marvel...
The Alice Campbell cover, we got over-shipped.
They like messed it up. They totally screwed that up, and then nobody bought past issue like 2, right? It's like our highest selling non-image book is by far Gun Honey, and that is all going to people for the covers. Like yes, Lane, I understand that. But a lot of people, Lane included, buy a lot of the variant covers on that, and a lot of people. So the numbers on that's really good. But
I buy it.
You buy it for the articles?
No. I buy the covers I like, and then I buy the trade and read it, and it's not too bad.
Yeah,
it's got a decent story,
I mean, I've heard it's fine. Yeah. So but hey, look, it's Garth Ennis and Mike Perkins. That's cool. They're doing what is this? Freddy the Fix. Cool. Sure, we'll see. Maybe it does well. I'll order a bunch of #1s, especially if it's returnable. There's something, and then everything else after that's just just the orders based on whatever comes in. And the amount of books where I'm like, cool, 2 subscribers, 1 shelf copy. That's like 90% of the non-Marvel and non-DC books these days. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
But this is just an imprint, right? It's not a company.
It is a company, but it is being. But I mean, it is in
terms of Garth isn't exclusive to the company. Ramsey, all them. It's not exclusive. It's just to print the horror books.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about it, but them being exclusive is they are. It is a company, but it is going to have it being printed, much like Ghost Machine, printed through as an imprint and printed through an image. So. Which is smart, right? I mean, instead of having to do all the printing yourself and dealing with all that, you have Image sort of Image and Dark Horse have kind of become this, right? Where there's the Dark Horse took all the Mark Miller books, right? Went over there, and they have all the Comixology print comics.
Snyder.
So it makes sense to kind of okay, we can we have the comic company deal with the comic end of this, the actual printing. They can take their cut. We deal with the media rights and the bigger picture stuff, and it's smart. So
I'm guessing the company is to have a collective to have better bargaining for the media rights and all the other stuff.
Yeah. And they come with a package. It's like, hey, we have 10 creators on board. They're creating all these IPs and all this content for you. So I'm sure that's that's where the real money is. I'm sure. Hey, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if the comics are good, they're good. If they shit out 2 books and then go away, well, that's what happens most of the time. So, I don't know. I don't know what the long-term plan is when you get more of this stuff more of the stuff down the road, but we'll see. Now, Toby.
Yeah.
We're going to talk some Batman media here, okay? But as the podcast goes on, we're going to lose people, okay?
Okay.
Because I want to talk briefly about Cape Crusader. I want to talk briefly about Kite Man. Then I want to talk about Penguin, and Kevin wants to say something.
Oh, no, it's like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying is Kevin hasn't watched, or Kevin, well, maybe he has watched it, maybe he hasn't watched it. I don't know. He won't tell me. But then Brock hasn't watched it, Lane hasn't watched it, so they'll probably drop off. And then Joker, nobody's seen it but me and you.
What?
So,
how's that possible?
Well, have you seen the box office numbers? It's very possible.
I mean, I honestly go, I got to go to a movie and it's almost $20.
But I think Kevin and Brock at least want to wait till they hear what our thoughts are on, like, initial thoughts on Joker. So I think they're going to hang out through at least that. So let me real quick, Kite Man. Anyone watching Kite Man? Anyone watch it? Bat Media overload. Okay, 4 things either ending or starting. And me and Leanne are watching Mr. Show. There was a Batman 66 parody on there. I watched 5 Batman related media things this weekend. Okay, it's fucking crazy. I did not realize this was all happening at the same time. I'm obviously Mr. Show's 30 years ago, but we were like, just watched this episode that had a Batman 66 parody. So I was like, what is going on? Like, I can't get away from Batman. Kite Man's great. Kite Man's so good. Dude, the Harley Quinn show, like, the last season was kind of whatever, but Kite Man is right back to being great. It's so funny what they've been able to get away with on this show, and it has a ton of heart, and it's really funny, and it's I don't say raunchy. It's vulgar for sure. It's way over the top. It's graphic. It's violent.
It's an adult
but it's
cartoon.
Yeah, but it's really good. Okay, and that is such the contrast to Batman Caped Crusader, which seems like
wait. So the last time we talked about this, I had watched the first one. You would watch like the first. Three.
2 or 3, yeah.
And that's where we left it. So I haven't gone back to it since that conversation. I was waiting to hear, should I check out like episode 3, 5, 6, and 7? Is it all great? So go ahead. I'm very interested in this.
You should check out episode any other show. Okay.
Jesus. All right.
How does Kite Man do such a good job, and Batman Caped Crusader is just
shit?
It's not shit. It's just
shit.
It's just unlikable. It's just kind of a slog.
It's okay.
Look, the Joker is obviously a vast difference. I'm not even talking about the sequel. Ignore the sequel for now. The Joker, right? The first movie,
yes,
is a massive departure from the comics.
Yes.
The Penguin is really a pretty far departure from the comics. Harley and Kite Man, there's a lot of comic accurate stuff in there, but it comes at it very over the top and vulgar and R-rated and stuff like that. So again, not like the comics. Batman Caped Crusader is in most ways way more accurate to the comics, especially the feel of the Golden Age stuff for the older comics and the style they try to do. The villains are where the changes come from, and it's just every decision feels like the wrong decision. You can have characters that are very different in Kite Man or Penguin, but it works. I don't know what it is, but I really think if it was called, I don't want to just say because they hyped up the Batman animated series like spiritual successor thing so heavy. Just ignoring it from that, it's just kind of an unlikable show. That's the only word that comes to me. I don't like any of the characters. I don't like any of the portrayals. They're all
Ryan, you know it's a DC show, right?
I do.
You're not playing a character right now.
I'm telling you, it's real weird.
Where you just hate everything.
No, so
you hate both Marvel and DC now. Just
I've taken on my true comic book guy form.
I'm getting there.
So the where I compare and contrast, it's My Adventures with Superman. In theory, these are very likable characters. It's very fun, very, very fresh, very kiddie, blah, blah, blah. My reason for not liking that show is it's just really not made for me. It's made for kids. It's made for like tweens. It's kind of that fake anime stuff. I tried. It's just not for me. I don't like it. But I'm perfectly happy it exists. Batman Caped Crusader is for me. It was made for me. It was made fucking exactly for me. And that's why it's so weird that it just doesn't. it's not that I'm like, it's fine. I think because it feels like it should be way more up my alley and it's not, I'm like way harsher on it. It just, everything feels off. Every villain is just a much worse version than any version from the comics or the animated series. You know, every version of Batman the Animated Series or Justice League Unlimited or Brave and the Bold, you know, they've all had something that made them unique or interesting or better than the comics, or at least, you know, you see where it's coming from. I think in Brave and the Bold, the Joker is actually one of my least favorite parts because it's a very strange take on that character. But I think most of the changes they make in that show work really well within the context of Brave and the Bold. Aquaman is not accurate to Aquaman, but it's a really good take on Aquaman. It's very funny and it fits within the show. Teen Titans Go, it's, again, not accurate to the comics, but everything works in that world. It's very fun. It's very funny. This is just, you know, like Batman is just a dick. Like, he's just an asshole. I mean, the main characters really are Harvey Dent, Montoya, and Barbara Gordon. And they're just not very good. Like, Montoya is, like, wicked stiff, and they try to kind of make her, like, the one good cop, but it doesn't really work. Like, Barbara's fine. I mean, it's a very different take on Barbara, but she's just kind of, she's just
so
like Barbara.
Just continue the Paul Dini show from the 90s. Just continue it. You would have liked it better. Like exact same character model, same story, same plot, just and just new like stuff. X-Men 97 style. Like,
yeah. Right. Where X-Men 97 takes that original show and modernize it and twists and does some new stuff with it, but takes that heart and just runs with it.
Yeah.
This feels like it's like, we're going to change stuff and make it worse in every regard. So it just doesn't, to me. So yeah, Barbara she kind of doesn't do anything. She's just sort of there, which is not Barbara Gordon, right?
Doesn't Bruce Timm have a weird thing about Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne being together? Is that in this too?
I mean,
that was in that Killing Joke. That was in that Killing Joke,
right?
Animated.
Yeah, but he did it in a couple of different.
I don't know. Yeah. No, there's nothing like that. I mean, Bruce Wayne and Batman are barely in the fucking show. Yeah, I'd say I'd say 9.
Like, remember that one Punisher book that I really liked, where the Punisher was more like a boogeyman?
Yeah.
Is it like that? Is it at least like where Batman is super scary when he shows up and he's kind of like the boogeyman, or
is this more just like a bad Gotham Central?
That might be what they're going for, but it doesn't go out like that.
I know we talked about it, but I haven't honestly thought about this show since you and I talked about it until right now. But I remember that first episode just felt like a below average episode of that original animated series. Like one that would come on and you'd forget about it by the next week when a new one was on.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why would you lead off with this day of age of the glut of media? That pilot episode of anything, you need to pitch that like it's the 7th game of the World Series, bottom of the 9th. That should be all hands on deck to make the very best. And I'm like, that is your leadoff episode. That was
ironic. You mentioned that I haven't watched episode 2 yet. But are you guys? Do you guys know?
You only watched the pilot?
No. Of the thing I'm about to say, the Junji Ito Uzumaki anime that just came out. Uzumaki?
Naruto?
What did I say? Uzumaki
Naruto.
There's a anime that just came out that we have here on Netflix, and the first episode is like this like way massive like not overproduced, but just this like crazy produced like they really threw everything in this first episode. Now I haven't seen episode 2 yet, but apparently they just like put all the money in the first episode and then shit the rest of the show out. And it's awful. So again, only 2 episodes are out. I don't think 3's out yet. I think 3 might be this weekend. But people are just like the reviews are, it's unreal how apparently bad the second episode is. So,
well,
yeah.
When I said that, I didn't mean that you leave yourself with no pictures for the next episode. I just meant
sure. No, but it's funny that this literally is happening as we're speaking. But yeah, the rest of the show, it's okay. And I mean, I guess if you've never seen a Batman cartoon or you've never seen any of the other stuff, maybe like, yeah, this is all right. The characters are all different. They play everything very, if the wild craziness of the comics in the 60s show is like a 10 out of 10, Batman the Animated Series is, they sort of tone down some of those elements maybe a little bit. I don't they never go as crazy as like the Golden Age or Silver Age comics. This is like a 2. Like they played almost too straight, like too real. Two-Face in the last couple episodes after he becomes Two-Face, it's just a very poor design. It doesn't really feel like Two-Face. It's like, yeah, it's this fucked up guy, but it's just not really Two-Face. It's a really bizarre show. If this was just a random nothing show, I wouldn't care about it. But the fact that it's Batman and the fact that it's done by really good people and it's so trying to kind of be Batman the Animated Series again, it's just a giant miss for me. I don't know why. I mean, I get to watch it. Maybe I'm fucking out of my mind. Not the first time, but it's not something I would recommend. I know people like it, so I don't know how well it did. It's impossible to know how good any of these shows actually do, but I have no clue if they're going to do more. Has anyone watched? You guys have any of you seen any of it other than what Kevin saw, the first episode?
I think I tried to watch the first episode.
Yeah, I watched the first.
I think I don't even think I finished the first episode. No, I don't think I did it. I think it's one of those where I did it too late at night, and I just never got through it, and then just never felt like going back. And I totally forgot about the show until Ryan talked about it today, and I was like, yeah, that exists.
And how sad is that? I mean, Kevin said the same thing. How sad is that?
Yeah.
To just like, oh yeah, that's a thing that exists.
And there's certain things in there that do not interest me. Like I look.
How many episodes into Agatha are you, Toby?
I have absolutely, completely no interest in that show. No, the few people I talked to that actually watched it, they say they all really like it. So there's that.
Sure.
I canceled my Disney Plus at the beginning of the month.
Well, plenty of people on the internet say they like Cape Crusader too. So I don't know. Like, yeah, people like stuff.
We're just officially getting old. This is an old man podcast.
It's very official.
Grumpy old man podcast. We're just complaining about shit. That's why no one listens anymore.
It's a grumpy comic conspiracy.
But we did want to talk a little Penguin and a little Joker. Now, I guess I don't know if there's a lot of stuff to really be spoiled in Penguin. We can be kind of lightish on bigger spoilers, but
I'll say this though. It's still one of the things that kind of turned me off, and I'm not against gender swapping stuff, but the Penguin being female and then having the big Penguin push, I just find it like
it's just not good. This wasn't a good take on the Penguin. Like,
yeah, well, besides that, it's just like, when you got one big thing going and you got the Penguin show coming, I just kind of enjoy uniformity, even if it's not the same version. So for them to go in a different way is just a little odd to me.
Well, it's strange that, Batman Cape Crusader that, like, again, yeah, okay, Penguin's in it, but the majority of that episode is focused around our kids who fucking suck. I mean, so like what? Just like, all right, these losers, they're like the Trump kids. That's what they were modeled after.
Are you talking the Penguin show?
No, Cape Crusader.
I thought we
like her kids. Her kids are based off like Don Jr. and fucking what's his name.
Oh, so you're talking about the Penguin in the Cape Crusader?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. Like, they're morons. Like, this is like, these are unlikable characters, and she's that version of Penguin is kind of nothing. And yeah, again, the change doesn't bring anything to the table. It doesn't do anything. It's you play that as a guy, and I'd say the exact same thing. That it's just sort of there's no charm to that version of the Penguin, unlike the Penguin in the Penguin TV show, who like put him up with Heath Ledger for one of the best performances of not just a Batman villain, of a comic villain ever. You know, Toby. I mean, I know it's me and you, but Penguin is phenomenal so far.
Well, I'm staying really quiet because in the history of this podcast, we're not allowed to agree on something. I'm just gonna have like nothing to say.
You're okay
instead of agreeing.
Hey, you're not agreeing with me.
Wait, you don't like it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, then I still can't make a comment because I don't know what you're gonna say.
Anyway. No, just me and you, Toby. Like, this is now the Penguin TV show. This is what I fucking want in a Batman TV show.
Wait, what was Kevin going to say something about it? Or
yeah, What's Kevin's thought?
No, Toby, I haven't watched it.
Well, what's your thing to say about it?
I'm just gonna make this general comment about Penguin. So obviously, Penguin, I can push my remote control and sit on my ass, and it comes right into my eyeballs with no effort at all, right?
Okay.
Joker, I've had, knowing we were doing this show, I've had like 3 really good options of days and times to go see that movie. Not counting the free screening. And what's happened is I've realized I have just stopped caring. Like, I've just stopped caring. Like, if Joker was on HBO Max tomorrow, like, surprise, it's here, I don't even know if I'd push play. And so here's what I'm going to say to Ryan. I will be ready for prom night Craven in December. Don't worry. Like, I'm saying,
that movie's not coming out.
I'm keeping myself pure. I'm saving myself for that. And then next year with FF and Superman and Born Again, I will be back in the groove. It's just like the current stuff. It's one of those things I got out of the habit, and I'm having a really hard time getting back into the habit.
Yeah.
That's all.
So I'm, Toby will probably agree with this, and this seems to be kind of, the thing I've seen so many comments about with Penguin is there's nothing to do with Batman. There's nothing to do really. I mean, it's the Penguin and Falcone and the Falcones and Maronis and all that stuff. But it's like, you call this, sure. It's a little
Penguin in it.
Yeah. You call this The Godfather's Penguin and put it in movie theaters, and like, it has nothing to do with the superheroes. It's just a really fucking good crime show. Really good crime show.
It's what Gotham should have been.
Yeah. If this was Gotham, it would have been one of the best shows on TV.
If they'd done like a season, The Penguin, and then the second season be Gotham Central, and the third season be, oh my god, I would have loved it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it is mafioso crime drama. It is all the tropes that you love for that stuff.
You're telling us it is DC's Sopranos.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It takes all those tropes. It puts a little bit, there is the backdrop of the Batman movie in it. How the movie ends with the flooding of the city plays a major part in the movie. But they literally, I don't think they say Batman like once in the opening sequence, and I don't think have never said his name again. No. There are Batman villains show up, but they are all crime boss people. There's no Joker. There's no Riddler. There's none of that stuff's running around. There's no costumes.
Kevin, remind me, did you like the movie? The Batman movie? The Batman?
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like it.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it very much, and I love the score, and I like the movie a lot. Yeah.
I hated the score personally, but that's
all right. Yeah.
Yeah. I just it didn't. I mean, like to each his own. I'm happy that you like it. It's just the score didn't do it for me. But and I think Ryan, you liked the movie too, right?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. I wasn't the biggest fan. I mean, I don't think the movie is a bad movie. It wasn't my kind of movie, and I didn't like it. I love the Penguin show. Like, I really like the movie. Almost made it so I was kind of not interested in it, but it was one of these where at home you could just press play, and I was like, my God, this is what I want, and this is what I really enjoy. So I'm all in Penguin.
Yeah, it's dark, it's fucked up, it's violent.
To me, the highlight is Falcone's daughter.
I just to get her name, Kristen Milotti.
Yeah, from How I Met Your Mother, the mother.
She has got to win, or at least be nominated for an Emmy or something.
So good.
Unbelievable. She is one of the like there is death.
I mean, she's the highlight. She steals the show in every scene she's in. She's like the complete highlight. Colin Farrell is stealing the show already, and then she comes in and kind of just tops him on top of him.
It's pretty unreal. When people say they have daggers in their eyes, like she looks like she literally is going to kill you with her eyeballs. It's the weird. She is. Don't fuck with her. Holy crap. It's really nuts. She is good in this show. Colin Farrell's unbelievable. But he by far is outshined by her. And that's not saying he's bad. He should also win every award. It's the Penguin. It's Kevin. This is your palate cleanser for superhero stuff, because it's not that at all.
No, it's not. No, it's not superheroes.
Highly recommend.
I'm only saying why I haven't yet watched it. Not that I will never watch it.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it breaks ground. It's the tropes, but it does it so well. It has.
If you like The Sopranos or The Wire and wish to have a Gotham universe story in that kind of world, that's what the Penguin is.
Yeah. It's got for the it has I think one of the better, what's his name, Victor, right? The kid. One of the better sort of
audience connection guy.
That audience character into this world, because he's he's a good kid that's ended up on the bad side of the bad side of life, and so you root for him, and you kind of root for him and the Penguin, right? Because they've both been fucked over.
Well, I'm rooting
so hardcore.
The daughter.
And she has too, right? Yeah. They all have.
Yeah.
But even at the end of the day, she's bad. Penguin's bad. But even the kid he's done some bad stuff. So you're oh man, it is.
Well, the Penguin's playing a surrogate father.
Yeah, he's playing his father. It's really, you're oh, it's heartwarming. But he also could kill him at any time, right?
Which adds just so much more to the fun of it.
So real parenting. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This feels way more in the in the conversation with something like Breaking Bad or Sopranos or than any comic book thing ever. And look, I don't know if you guys know this, but I really like comic books. I really like crazy over the top sci-fi comic stuff and goofy comic nonsense, Kite Man and all the bullshit that comic books are. This is that show that you're like, oh no, this is something you show normal people, right? This is the show that you show to your parents or to your friend who's not a comic person. And you're like,
so you're telling me I need to borrow your HBO account.
This is a peek into that world. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, this is the show where you think comic book stuff is for kids, and then you show them this.
It's super.
I am pleasantly surprised. I mean, I was going to check it out no matter what, but because of the Batman, I wasn't really into it. I was not looking forward to it. I was completely taken by surprise. I was Had I had anything else to watch that night when it was on, I probably would have watched something else. It would just happen to be like, you know what, nothing is. Oh yeah, this happened. Let me watch this, and I was like blown the fuck away. So I'm so into it. So I'm like, how many is it? 6 or 8? It's not even that long, right?
Yeah. I think it's 8. Yeah.
Man, I'm bummed already. I'm bummed already because there's an end to this goodness.
So I want to set up a little bit here before we talk about Joker. I just want to get into
into the weeds.
I want to give a couple of numbers here first before we start talking about stuff. Just in case people forget, and again, no spoilers up here in front. Just in case people forget, the Joker movie, the first one, Todd Phillips did billion plus, so like 1.3 billion or something like that. It was a mega hit, right?
It is the top grossing R-rated movie, right?
Well, until Suicide, until Deadpool, right?
Dethroned it.
Yeah, they
or is Passion of the Christ still bigger?
No, I don't think so. No, I think I gotta look it up, but
I think Passion of the Christ is still bigger. I'm not sure.
This new one, Joker, I don't know how to pronounce it. Folie Deux. Folie à Deux.
Oh my god.
Folie à Deux. Now, if you remember, I was unlikely to see the movie.
I think unlikely is not quite the word I would describe. I would say vowed to never watch it. It's more accurate.
I was severely disappointed with the addition of Lady Gaga in this movie, as I do not like Lady Gaga.
Which we still haven't figured out why.
It's all right. You don't have to. It's some things are better left in mystery. The first movie, although critical success and box office success, was kind of in the tone of the Snyder movies, sort of hated by big parts of the comic audience and the internet. Led to a lot of people saying that the only people that liked the Joker movie were a bunch of incels, and I don't know, some pretty bad things. I personally was a big fan of the first Joker movie. Toby, your opinion on the first Joker movie, if you will, if you remember. I think you liked it.
I liked the movie. I thought it was a good movie, but personally didn't enjoy it, so I never wanted to see it again, and then didn't want to see more of it.
Yeah. I don't think anyone.
Yeah, it was an excellent movie. Like, I really thought it was well crafted, like pure good movie. It's not a movie I'll go and watch 15 times afterwards.
Oh no!
Like,
yeah,
it doesn't bring joy, right?
It was great.
Yeah, it was a great character study.
I bought the Blu-ray knowing I wouldn't watch it anytime soon.
Yeah. You don't just put on Grave of the Fireflies when you want a little laugh in the middle of the day, right? I mean, you the Joker is a movie you watch when you're feeling a certain way about things. It's a tough movie. You're not supposed to be like, I enjoyed that. I don't think anyone enjoyed it, but I thought Joker was a great movie. Dark as hell. It was
brutal.
Fucked up.
It
was
brutal.
Yeah. So
with that said, and I'm not a Lady Gaga hater at all. Actually, I'm not a fan. I'm not a hater though.
Yeah.
In fact, that's one of my big losses in life, was passing up a gig on filming Lady Gaga before she was Lady Gaga, because the same producer didn't pay me for the previous gig yet. So I said no, which was one of my biggest regrets in life to this day. But it was like years and years and years before she became the Lady Gaga. But with that said, after the first one, I had absolutely no interest in watching the second one. Even though I thought Lady Gaga was actually going to be an excellent choice for that version of Harley, and I thought she was going to do a really good job. Even with that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it because I got the AMC A-list thing again. And then Ryan calls me up and goes, "Hey, I could put you on a list." I'm like, that's the way for me to watch it because I'm not sure if I would have done it otherwise.
Yeah. Well, as the weekend went on, it became clear that there was something very, very wrong with this movie.
What?
The critic, I will get the current updated review here. Again, I really dislike Rotten Tomatoes, but since that is what people use, I will look at the current status of Rotten Tomatoes. A 33% for reviews, a 31% verified viewer review. So that is extremely poor. It has a D ranking for Cinema Score, which is the grade people give the movie in select theaters as they're walking out of the movie theater. Most comic movies and kind of big genre stuff have extremely high Cinema Score because they're sort of these uplifting and fun adventure movies. So people come out very happy, right? Even if it's at odds with maybe what they actually think or what the actual quality is or what the score is from reviewers. Comic book movies do not score this low. This is the lowest scoring review ever for a big budget comic book movie for Cinema Score. So this is the grade people that have actually watched the movie as they were walking out of the theaters have given this. It's a D. It was hoping for something like a 70 million weekend and then 60 and then 50 and ended with a $37.8 million opening weekend domestic. I think it was like 80 million international, which is a abysmal number for considering for how much money the first made. I mean, I guess it's lower, but it's on par, sort of like Captain Marvel, right? I mean, Captain Marvel just completely tanked at the theater, but even that managed to make a little bit more than this.
Funny enough,
these are what's that?
Captain Marvel came out the same year as Joker. And they both made about the same amount of money.
Yep, they both made significant money.
Marvel's, which came out just the end of last year, and then Joker 2, both are abysmal failures.
Yeah. I mean, it's a, is it superhero fatigue? Is it people didn't really actually like the first one? Is it, internet word of mouth killed the movies? Is it bad reviews? It's post pandemic. People have changed sort of what they're interested in, right? Blah blah. There's a million reasons, right? There's a million reasons why these movies tanked. So yeah, this is obviously a massive disappointment. Going in already to Joker, I was like, I mean, people say it's boring, it's slow, it's a bad musical. It's all this. It's like everything going against this movie, right? But it's a Joker movie, so fuck. I'm gonna go see it.
So he fucking loves it. Ryan loves this fucking movie.
Me or you, Toby, me or you. What do you want to go? Who wants to go first? Should we just say it at the same time? Should we give her?
I will say I'm one of those assholes that do not hate people texting or being on their phone at the movies. And I was so taken by this movie, I had to jump on the phone and secretly under my shirt text Ryan going, "This is fucking phenomenal."
And when the movie ended, and I was like, I will actually at some point I'll get Leanne's expanded thoughts because I know it's changed kind of as time went on a little bit. But
yeah, I haven't smiled and enjoyed a movie like this in a long, long time. And I will say, look, like spoilers ahead, I actually did not enjoy the end. I thoroughly loved the movie from the beginning up to the end, and I didn't quite. Like what they did at the end, just my take, just personal take. But man, that movie, holy shit! Going in, I was like, I'm doing this as a chore, and I left going, holy shit! I really, really, really had a good time.
And the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking,
Toby has a good.
No, I'm thinking, I just kind of give up because I don't understand what anyone's ever thinking or saying about everything. I thought it was great.
See what bizarre world are we in, man? I can't.
We both like Penguin. No, see here, and I think this is it, Toby. Right? They're both fucked up movies about fucked up people doing bad stuff, smoking too much. Like it. They're slow. They're just a bunch of assholes. Like it's like I love that. It's if you feel bad watching it, like you just don't feel. It's not a feel good movie at all.
I enjoy myself, so there's that. So I don't know what that says about me, to be honest with you. There were times where either I was the only guy laughing in the theater, and I wish Charlie was here right now because he was in the scene.
Oh, there's some fucked up, good, funny, fucked up stuff that you're not really supposed to laugh at, but you probably did.
I wanted Charlie be on tonight because I wanted to, because he knows my voice, so he knew it was me. So I wanted to get his take of what he was thinking, because there were times I was the only one laughing. There was times the two people I brought were laughing with me, and nobody else was laughing in the theater. And I'm like, I don't know what this says about any of us.
Well, with some of the complaints, it's slow. Yeah, sure, it is.
I actually don't think it's slow at all.
That doesn't make a movie bad.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I actually don't think it's slow at all.
Yeah, I mean, there is like one action sequence in the entire movie, and it's kind of out of nowhere, and it just sort of it just sort of wraps up. It's also not it's not really a musical, and I think that's one of the weirdest parts of it. All the complaints about it's a bad musical, blah blah blah.
It's a Disney movie.
It's no. See, in here, I'm going to totally disagree with that. So
it is.
If you have some interest, but you're like, I hate musicals. The vast majority of the time there is music or people singing, they are just in the real world. There's a couple sequences where Joker is sort of like in his brain, sort of seeing this fake world, but there's very few. And like, it's not a bunch of like singing about the stuff going on like a musical. They're singing standards, or they're singing like old classic songs. Like it's not, I would not call this a musical. It is people singing music, but it is not a musical. So it's
that's why I think it's more aligned with a classic Disney movie.
No, but no, in those they're like singing about the things that are going on, and they're kind of singing about the situation. They're not doing that in this, except for like maybe once or twice.
So you liked Lady Gaga?
She was perfectly fine. Yeah, she was good.
I actually think she stole the show in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too spoilery here, because there's
Well, I think she outshines Joaquin in this one, because I thought she did an excellent job. I really, really like her take on this. Well, I like her take on this in this universe.
Yeah. This is not the Joker, and this is not Harley Quinn in any way, shape, or form. They use those names at points, but this is something else.
Yeah, it's like an Elseworlds Joker Harley story.
Sure, yeah.
That's how I look at it. It's like I completely disconnected it. It's funny because one of the guys that came out of here, like, oh, it's like this and that. I'm like, I don't connect this to any of the comic book stories or any.
No.
Like, this is its own thing, and I will totally enjoy it for what it is. And it's funny because going into it, I read all the music stuff. I'm like, that's a little odd of a choice. But when I started watching the movie and like the first couple of songs came on, I'm like, this really, really fucking works. And I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I if there were two less songs, maybe it'd be fine. Like I'm not going to say I needed more or needed less.
Again, I wasn't the biggest fan at the end, just personal opinion. But I mean, I really love this movie. Like, maybe
we'll kick everyone off, and then I'll give you my ending theory.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just do it if we don't record. But I have to. I mean, I really don't read reviews. I mean, I don't read reviews. Period. I try not to pay attention, but for something like this, when it just becomes almost just like laughing stock, no pun intended.
Well, I feel like a lot of those people that really don't like it either just don't like the music, or they never even watch it and they just want to trash it.
Sure. Well, of course, there's a lot of that. But I think you come on
bandwagon trashers.
Yeah, I mean, if you went into this movie thinking, "Oh, this is going to be a Batman movie with the Joker and Harley Quinn," it's like, did you watch the first one? Like, how do you go into this movie and not expect something kind of similar to the first one, right? And, so that's where I'm kind of confused by this, like the cinema score. It's like, who would have? Okay, if people didn't like the first one,
I think it's an excellent sequel to the first one. Like, I really do.
Oh, I did. I mean, it picks up like not immediately after, but it picks up after the events of the first one, and some time has passed, but there's a they do some interesting stuff in the court case and kind of his idea of am I the Joker or am
I loved all of that stuff.
Am I just the normal person and the Joker is not real?
I ate all of that up, man. I loved it, man. All of that stuff, dude. I mean, again, I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but man, that entire court stuff, dude, gold. Look, as much as like I respected the first movie, but didn't necessarily enjoy it. It's like they brought that all back and added the enjoyment level for me in this one, just because the Harley take was so good, the music numbers were actually really well done, and it really, really works.
Yeah. It's super baffling, Kevin.
Well, I will tell you, listening to you guys talk about it has bumped my interest level for sure.
Yeah, well, it's not every day that me and Ryan will actually agree.
I know, Toby. This is a little like spotting Bigfoot. I'm suddenly like sitting up, paying attention.
I think it's what are you looking for in a movie like this? If you're looking for, I think it's a little bit like Penguin. If you're looking for a Penguin comic or a Joker that's from the comic, that's not this. If you're looking for him to kind of get his comeuppance, or if you're looking for Batman to swoop in at the end of the movie and take him down, or if you're looking for a good romance, it's Harley and Joker. What's fucked up? It's not a feel good movie. I mean, Toby could say whatever he wants to say, but like, I don't think most people are going to walk out of this movie, even if you like it, being like, yeah, I feel great after watching this movie. No, you should feel horrible after watching this movie.
I didn't walk out feeling good after Joker. I was like,
yeah.
I feel pretty good about this one because I really enjoyed it, man.
Except the ending. You didn't enjoy the ending.
I didn't like, again, personal take, I didn't quite enjoy the ending at all. I wish they went a different way. But the movie itself, I really, really, really enjoyed. More so than the first one. And I do think it's an additional piece. Like, I almost think of them as part one and part two, and I really do think it works.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll go watch it this weekend.
I will talk to Toby about this off the air because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But for anyone listening that has seen it, or if you haven't seen it but you know the ending, I'm going to talk around the spoiler.
Wait. No. I'm going to tap out now before you start.
I'm not going to. No.
I don't want you to have to tap dance.
No. I'm going to do it anyway. And it's not. There is a popular internet theory about the ending.
Oh yeah. Oh well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you are. I think it is. Well, I think it is 100% wrong. I don't think it's 100% wrong. It is 100% wrong.
That bit didn't bother me as much. It goes before that.
I just think if you're like, I want to see it because of the internet theory, or I don't want to see it because of that, ignore that because it's total bullshit. So yeah,
but then why put it in there?
I'll talk to you about this off air.
But to me, it bothers me before that even. Well, again, we'll talk later, but it bothers me before that. But I really thoroughly enjoyed that movie, way more than I ever thought I would.
So it's funny because I know again. So when it ended, Leanne was like, I didn't really like that. And then as the day went on, she was like kind of thinking more about it. And we were talking more about it, and she was reading up on stuff. And I think your opinion changed a little bit.
I didn't enjoy it, but I don't think it was a bad movie.
Okay. And that's kind of like what I think, like Brock said about the first one, right? It's like, I don't think most people will enjoy it. It's a rough movie, but it's very interesting, and it does some cool things that you're just never going to get in a comic book movie. All right. So, when I've complained about how they've handled comic stuff, where you have a lot of characters that are being introduced for the first time, whether it's Shazam or Iron Man, or, it doesn't matter who the character is. Most of these characters, this is sort of the first real big public take. A character like the Joker, though, is such a prolific character outside of comics that most people know the Joker. We've had so many versions of the Joker. So these are the type of characters that I want them to experiment with and do weird stuff. And this totally fits that. So, is this the Joker that fights Batman? No. Is this the Joker that's in the DC universe? No. It's no version of the Joker that's been in the comics. It's the name, and really that's it.
It's
but
the story. It's the story that we've heard for Joker Origins. That's what it is. No. Joker
really
doesn't have a definitive origin.
He doesn't have an origin at all.
No, I feel like this is just a really, really cool of a character study of the Joker, of one of his aspects.
Yeah.
And it's like you give it into a hand of someone that has a really cool idea to take on it and let him run wild. And that's what we got. And I truly believe that, and I really, really, really freaking enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm generally off public opinion on this type of stuff, so it should come no surprise that once again I like the thing that everyone hates, and I'm just kind of used to it at this point. But yeah, it's real baffling. If you just don't like fucked up stuff, then I get not liking it, right? Like, I don't like horror movies. Like, I'm not a horror guy. I'm not going to go see fucking Terrifier or anything like that. But like, I'm not going to tell you shouldn't go see it. Like, if you want to watch it, go watch it. But I feel like with a lot of these comic movies and things like this, people get like bizarrely like angry about it. And I'm like, guys, I just don't like.
Are you surprised, Ryan?
It's cool. It's good.
Are you actually surprised at that, though?
What? That
they get so angry about it? Because you had them at the store for how many years now? When something happens in the comic book and they get so angry about it.
Oh, yeah.
Are you really surprised that when they do it in a movie, they get so angry about it?
No, not really. Not really. Yeah. Well, and this, I had a customer that's been coming in for the last couple of weeks. And he used to read comics when he was younger. He's now buying comics again as he's an older adult, older than any of us. And so he had said, like, what do you recommend? And I said, well, I've been reading a lot of this stuff for a long time, so I'm sort of gravitating towards the people like Tom King that take the characters I know, but are willing to kind of do stuff really different with them. And a lot of people don't like that. But if you're willing to, like, you don't have the baggage that a lot of people do with these characters. So I just think these are good stories, and he responded really well to that and has liked all of them. I said, I think a lot of people, especially as you get older, you kind of, a lot of people realize, these they're just stories. We're just going to kind of do whatever we want to do, and there will be another version, another take, and another story eventually with these characters. And this is an interesting little sidestep. I don't want the same. I've seen Batman and the Joker fight 1 billion times. Give me something a little bit more different. So Tom King having a Joker and Joker and Catwoman like laying on the floor of a church talking to each other for 2 issues is like exactly the type of thing I want to read, because it's just something different. and it works really well.
Well,
and a lot of people are like, this is boring and stupid.
It was.
Why is Batman punching the Joker? It's like, well, I mean, there's a lot of other comics where he does that. So
I liked it more of just the drawing out the whole thing, right? Because you jumped in time to when they were older, right?
Yeah.
So there was this kind of just, we've been doing this so long, right? And when you've been doing it so long, you get to know that the other person. So there was a lot of depth that was added to that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I don't want this to be the Joker that shows up in whatever, whatever the James Gunn Batman movie ends up being. But I thought it was great. Is that a podcast? Did we do it?
I guess. I mean, it wasn't 2 hours and 18 minutes like Joker 2, but
That's okay. That's okay. They don't all have to be. Well, hopefully everyone's still listening. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Toby, hang tight. I do want to talk to you about some stuff. I don't want to talk to you about this
bonus material.
I got my theory.
We don't do bonus material here.
But we got Patreon payers.
Next episode will be long enough. Next time we record, we'll definitely talk.
Yes, because Kevin and I will probably have gone and seen it.
Yeah.
Man,
Lane won't.
To be honest, another hurdle I have to get over.
What was your bet? What did you think? Did you think we were going to like it or not like it? I mean, I'm sure you.
I would have bet. I would have bet my original art collection that you would have liked it.
Yeah, it's a DC thing.
Toby, I really had no idea because I didn't remember anybody's review of the first one, so I was kind of in the dark. But man, that runtime really just. God.
218, you're like, oof.
If I saw a 95-minute runtime, I'd be like, it's 4 stars for me right now before I even walk in the door.
Well, even the runtime on like the Batman movie, I haven't gone back to watch that because the runtime.
Slug. Yeah, and it's not a quick action movie, right? It's a lot of talking and hanging out and singing. So
okay, it's a fucking commitment.
I mean, it's definitely slow, but like I said, I don't think that's a bad thing. Wonderful podcast. Thank you, everyone.
Should we sing?
We're going to go now.
Sing a song on our way out.
I will not be singing a song. Thank you very much. But thank you to our high-tier Patreon backers, Edward at geekyvillain.com, Joe Duff, Kelsey May, Craig Anderson at the Executive Evolution Podcast, and Jimmy Rivera at the Social Farm Podcast. Head over to comicspiracypodcast.com. Check out all our previous episodes. And patreon.com/comic conspiracy. If you want to kick us a couple bucks, you can do so over there. Comics Conspiracy is our site. You can go buy comics there.
Biz.
And check out conspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's website.
No. You need to plug all of the shit that we have online now at comicsconspiracy.biz because we have a ton of it.
We've always had a ton, and every day
there's more. Ton more.
Yeah, back issues, used trades, half off trades, toys. Yeah, pick up local shipping, non-international shipping, far away American shipping. Yeah, it's great. Comicsconspiracy.biz. Go buy some stuff. Go check out Charlie's Wanders in the Fourth Dimension podcast. Kevin's interview series called Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com and a page I love at Comic Art Live on YouTube.
That was Charlie was on today. I really wanted to get his take.
Didn't he go to the screening?
Yeah, he did. He was in like 5 rows before me.
You just pieced that out.
But you don't know what he thought of it?
I think he still thought it was a downer, but he enjoyed it more than the first one. He didn't wait around at the end. He took it off.
Right.
Yeah, he took it off, but
it's not a movie you wait around and talk about. Like Joker was. I just want to leave.
I was loving it, man. I was loving it. But yeah, and the movie experience was a really odd one because they didn't fill it. It was like not a whole lot of people in there. Like it was like maybe a quarter or a third full at most.
Yeah, we went on Sunday. There were 6 people in the biggest auditorium.
Yeah, it was a really, really, really bizarre screening.
So, yeah, not great. And my wife Leanne is at leannehill.com. Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art is where you can buy her prints, or at the store. And if you're on Blue Sky, you can say hello to me. I'm Ryan Higgins. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby's Toby XI. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp. I don't think any of them use it.
I do occasionally.
Do you? The store is Comics Con Store on Twitter if you're still using that for some reason. And Geekbox should be back next week as well. We'll talk about some video game stuff. Yay! But that's it.
Talking about the death of Ubisoft.
No, fucking nobody cares what Ubisoft. I'm going to talk about Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster and the new Zelda. I have no idea what's going on with Ubisoft. I could care less. That is it. Thank you, guys. And thank you for bearing with us during our break. We should be back in a week or two with a new episode. See you then.